Ayahuasca
Hey,
Rogers.
but the thing is, Brad, now that this is the third time's the
Charm,
back.
welcome.
To the Big Tread and Brad's Buffet. This is episode 6,
6.
and we look a little different because we're on
Different.
Zoom
Zoom.
for the first part
Zoom.
of this episode. I am flying back to California, so we're going to be doing Zoom in the beginning
That's
of the
where
next
he's
two,
from.
the next 2 episodes. But it's temporary. It's not a permanent thing. Don't worry. So we'll be back in person soon. But on today's episode, we do a snake draft.
Yep.
Should I keep it a surprise or should I tell them?
Just keep going.
Okay. We also do our lock of the week. 2 of us are on red alert, so that's interesting. Interesting mix. We also
That's
get
my red
into
alert sound.
nice. We also get into some baseball development dice with a special guest. It was an awesome segment. So yeah, we hope you enjoy. We want to introduce also a new idea to the pod because we've heard that some people want to have their voices heard, and we think it would be a great idea to get that on the show every week. So we are going to start getting some voicemails from you guys via Instagram. Our Instagram is at big.tread.and.brad.
Dot.
Yes.
So go ahead and just search Big Tread and Brad
Big-
on your search bar and you're going to find it.
You'll find it, but there's some periods in the middle of them. Anyway, leave us a voice message via Instagram. We'll be able to listen to them and we'll put them on the pod. And I think it'll be a great way to interact with you guys and have all of our friends join the pod here and there. Some returning guests will be fun.
It would be awesome if you formatted that in question form.
Yeah,
Not
like leave a
just,
question. Yeah. Or tell
or
us a fun
something
story.
along cap or no cap, buy, sell, or hold, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Or even baseball development dice topics. We're here for whatever you guys want to bring us. So let's just make sure you're not riffing off for 20 minutes.
Yeah. So keep it short, keep it sweet. But we would love to start doing that. So starting next week, we will be getting your voice messages and bringing you guys on the pod as well.
We also have a giveaway this week, which is exciting. We will be giving away a gift card from Black Dog, our new sponsor. To be able to win this gift card, you would have had to 1, follow us, 2, retweet the post, and then 3, like the post. So we are going to hammer out a little random number generator action here, and we are going to tell you who the winner is. Brad, are you ready with the names and the numbers?
I am ready.
I am hammering the generator now.
5. Jackson Price.
Jackson Price, congratulations. You have won a gift card to Black Dog. To redeem this item, you will have to DM our Twitter and we will figure out a way to get you the gift card. So Jackson Price,
Awesome.
Congratulations on receiving the gift card to Black Dog. Also,
And thanks for
special
supporting.
thanks to Black Dog for supporting us. And yeah, that's what we've got so far for the intro. Brad, you got anything else?
Nope.
Let's light it up.
Folks, the world shut down in 2020. No traveling. Do any
It
of you
did.
guys have the itch to get back out there and see the world?
I do. I'll tell you what, I would love to go see the world.
Well, if you're looking to travel, you should look to cruising first. You get to see so many different places in just a week's worth of time. And when you want to go cruise, you should go to altamaritravel.com where you can
Tell us
get
more.
great rates on cruises and help all your travel needs. So go to altamaritravel.com to get your next cruise booked and get back out there and explore the world.
Are the Cowboys good this year?
Yeah. I think they are.
I think they are as
Shout
well.
out Mitch Thomas.
Hey, no,
Shout
I
out
have,
Mitchell. Go ahead.
I was the
go.
only one that said the East is the beast. Am I not?
I was holding.
No, I did too.
I think I
Oh, you
held.
did too?
I bought that. I bought the crap out of it.
Okay.
1,000 shares.
Well, nobody
Good.
has a losing record in that division,
No, the whole East.
and we're in week 11, so that's like a real.
The
That's like
whole
a
East
real
is going to
thing.
make the playoffs except the Commanders right now.
Including
both
the
sides.
AFC East. That's what
AFC and
that's what you're
NFC
saying.
East.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
you have a lot to play out still, considering we play 18 weeks now. But yeah, I think that's not a bad take in terms of the East being beasts.
They're beasts.
So,
Yeah,
guys,
it's proven.
you're on red alert again. What happened?
Okay.
I thought the Bears were going to do it. What is that about?
Well, you see, Tread, I'm picking teams about a sport that I don't watch at all.
Yeah, that
This
makes
just
sense.
in. Yeah.
I mean, the
They're
thing
tanking.
the thing is they're tanking.
No, I'm tanking. I'm tanking this game because I
you're
love rolling
tanking
dice.
because you love doing the punishments.
Mhm,
And
it's fun.
Lord knows we're excited to see those pancakes get eaten. But
Mhm.
and mind you, eat the pancakes, then run a 5K. Maybe you bust out both in the same day. What do you got on that?
Near impossible feat. Maybe though.
Maybe you run a 5K in total around like the IHOP. You know what I mean? I don't know why I said IHOP.
Or a Sherry's.
Or a Sherry's. If you can't find an IHOP that's open 24 hours in the greater Portland metro area. And then Niners, Chargers. Chargers, maybe the most hurt team in football. And then the Niners are Kyle Shanahan's just like, we'll just hand it off between the tackles to Christian McCaffrey every play and see how it goes. And then when that doesn't work, we'll put in Eli Mitchell and do the same exact thing. And then be like, we didn't score any touchdowns with our passing game. Weird. So that was pretty fun to watch, right, Brad?
Yeah, super fun. I hate this so much. And I think if the Raiders are having a good year, it'd make things easier, but they're not. They lost to a high school head coach with a losing record. and then I proceeded to watch both teams just run the clock out just completely. Herbert had the first play of the game. It was like a 40-yard touchdown to Palmer in the corner of the end zone. And I was like, oh, this is gonna get destroyed. I got that. This was easy. And then all of a sudden, just McCaffrey just had the ball every single drive. And then he sat, and then Elijah Mitchell ran the clock out, and then Eckler ran the clock out. And then I realized what I've done.
Yeah, I think there were 4 trips to the red zone that touchdowns weren't scored. So it's kind of a minus situation for you.
Did I see that Jimmy G is 10-2 without scoring a touchdown?
How about that? And then like ESPN just posting like the Jimmy G's a winner with the with the air blowing out the nose like he's a bull type.
It's not his run scheme behind him.
That's not a flattering stat. That speaks to the Niners being very good at roster composition and their defense being elite during his entire tenure with the team.
I just can't even comprehend what that team would look like with an adequate quarterback. It'd be unbelievable.
Man, one can only dream, right, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have passed on so many. Started with Aaron Rodgers, right? And then, I mean, my gosh, it's been everybody since then. But
Alex Smith was okay. He wasn't great, but he was okay.
He's all right.
He won some playoff games, and then Colin Kaepernick was all right for a little bit. It was okay. It hasn't been great.
Yeah.
So, what do we got for lock of the week this week, boys?
You guys go first, please.
All right. I am ready for mine. I'm going to go ahead and take Lions at Giants. Giants -3. The Giants are, I think, 6-3 at this point. The Lions are not tanking on purpose, but their team is so bad that they are tanking. What's his name? No, I think that is his name. Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions. Again, this is where you get your premium sports takes, folks. Dan Campbell has won one single road game as the Lions head coach, and that was this weekend against the Bears. So I don't think he can pull off 2 in a row. And the Giants, I think, are a good football team. I'm going to take Giants -3 at home against the Lions.
Crowder?
I'm going rogue here.
Oh my gosh.
because nothing matters, and I'm rolling the dice next week anyway.
The stakes are not a stake. These are real.
No,
These
and
are real things that you're.
I think I actually got cursed way back when I told everybody that I wanted ayahuasca Rogers.
That's
And
not, that's
Ever
not
since
cap.
then,
ever since then, the curse of ayahuasca Rogers has been on my back. And I'm telling you, this week I'm punting on ayahuasca Rogers.
Oh,
okay.
I'm taking the Titans to cover the spread.
Titans +3
in Green Bay against
Green Bee.
Rogers.
Yeah.
Green beans, and 3-6 Packers team versus a Titans team that's pretty good. Are they 3-6? Yeah, I think so. Made that
I
up.
think
But
they're
moving on,
4-6, but that's fine.
whatever. They won't be 5-6 after this week, is what I'm saying.
4-6.
So yeah,
That's
taking
good
the
chatter.
Titans +3.
Tannehill's back too, and they're in Green
Mhm.
Bay. It's going to be cold. Hand the ball to
Tannehill
30 times,
just-
and let him run for 200 yards.
Got a blue collar kind of look to him. Doesn't mind the cold. Big beard on him typically. Played
Yep.
for a ton of NFL teams.
Yep.
I think that's
And Aaron
Fitzpatrick.
Rodgers.
I think
he's
that's
played for two,
Fitzpatrick
right?
you're
Ever.
thinking of, but I like.
Yeah, it definitely is. Moving on though, ayahuasca Rogers will probably take some ayahuasca before the game. He'll be looking up at the scoreboard, wondering where he is, and the Titans will cover the spread.
Did you see the guy walking out of the stadium with the 12 jersey that said ayahuasca on the back?
I was just about to bring that up and say
So good.
that I was going to ask if Kraut wanted that for Christmas.
Oh, that was
That's a good
actually
gift.
me. I was there. That was me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Just
I
scouting.
threw that jersey away. I'm punting on ayahuasca Rogers after
Awesome. Yep. That's great.
Nice. Brad, what do you got?
So originally I was gonna do Jets Patriots over, but I am so done trying to hit overs in this.
You are the
'cause
king of missing overs. You are the king.
Tread, life's too short. So instead I'm gonna go with a spread, and I'm gonna take the Eagles revenge tour against Jeff Saturday and his high school coaching ways. Eagles -6.5 in Indianapolis.
Yeah. How about Jeff Saturday just being like NFL
Yeah.
coaching? That's not very hard for me.
Yeah.
I'll just walk in. I'll pass my fantasy football team to Eric Decker, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna walk in and get a quick dub here in the Death Star against.
By the way, talk about a
Bears.
perfect storm. My one take was that he was going to give the game away because Devontae Adams was on his fantasy team, but no, he just let Devontae Adams just dominate him in fantasy, and then win the game.
Best of
So,
both worlds, just like the
yeah.
Bears, scoring 30 points and losing while you're tanking.
Yep,
I want to
Incredible.
talk
Really
about
good.
it, brothers.
Yep.
Well, that's our lock of the week.
yep. Folks,
Crowd.
take it from a group of guys who calls their fan base fatties when it comes to where you want to eat in Forest Grove. Phil's 1500 subs is the best sub sandwich, not in Forest Grove, not in Oregon, not in the United States, but maybe the whole world.
The world, the best.
Phil runs one of the best sub shops in the whole world over at Phil's 1500 subs next to the Safeway in Forest Grove. And you're doing yourself a disjustice if you've never been there and you've been in Forest Grove.
Disjustice.
That's a word.
Come on by Phil's 1500 subs today and get the best experience you ever had with a sub sandwich. We recommend ordering the Treadway and saying that Big Tread and Brad's Buffet sent you there. So all you fatties, get out there and go to Phil's 1500 subs. Kraut, when are you going to make a hot take?
Oh, Brad, as a matter of fact, I have made a hot take.
What one?
And that is that the Tennessee Volunteers will make the college football playoff. And you know what? It's really panning out quite lovely, isn't it, Tread?
Who gave him plus 500 for that? That can't be true, Tread.
Couldn't have
There's
been
no
me.
way.
Couldn't have been me.
There's no way he gets 500 points for
Yeah,
saying
but he loses 50, dude, huh?
this can't be right.
Hmm?
No, you have Tread. I mean, Kraut, you actually have two hot takes. You have Tread hitting the over on the SAT. That's going to be hilarious when that doesn't hit.
Mhm.
Well, okay, so Tennessee's
hot.
not going to play in their is not going to play in their conference championship game. And then if USC runs the table, like they could very well make it out of the Pac-12 because they go UCLA this week. Next week they play
wait,
Notre Dame,
wait.
and then the week after they play whoever's coming to play them in the Pac-12 championship. They did away with divisions, So
Speaking of
it's
run
now
the
just-
table.
well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, go Ducks.
All right, dude, listen. So I was at the game this weekend, and I can tell you that it wasn't very good from a defensive standpoint. The most frustrating part of the game was obviously they got not soft with the play calling, but like reckless with the play calling towards the end. But 7 points, 7-point lead. It's 3rd and long. Washington has to go the length of the field, and our safety just jumps a route on like 3rd and 18 and just completely whiffs. Like he's not even close. Like I'm watching it live, and it's like I'm from the end zone, like watching it outward, and I'm like, dude, he's not close to the football. And then easy touchdown, and then
Any more
obviously
excuses?
we run the ball on 4th down with our backup quarterback in the game, and the dude slips while we're in field goal range for whatever reason. We decided to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the game itself was electric. I don't think anybody
Analytics.
really felt like Oregon was going to lose that game until they did. Bo Nix is electric. Still my take. I mean, that guy, I hope he comes back next year, because if he comes back next year, Oregon's going to be pretty dangerous. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, no, tough loss for the Ducks. Doesn't mean they're out of the Pac-12 championship though.
Shout out
Peyton
Peyton Henry
this weekend.
Shout out Peyton Henry.
Who's
Kicker,
that?
Washington. Just putting the knife in the heart of the Ducks. The kicker
is
for the
that?
Ducks. The kicker for Washington. The guy who ended the game.
Who is that? The guy who ended the game?
Yes. He kicked the field goal to win the game.
Yeah. Okay.
I grew up playing baseball with him for about like 6 or 7 years. Played for his dad. Awesome dude.
What's his blood type?
Don't know, but man, he is good at
Tell us
killing
more about him.
overrated football teams. So really good.
Here's what I'll say is that
You are
we
minus
allowed
50.
we allowed UW to wear purple in the stadium, which I think like that was the minus decision. By going with the yellow palette, we had to go with a palette there where UW couldn't walk in purple.
Yeah.
And when they did that, I mean, I think it kind of threw everything off.
So the yellow
Because I think
Power
their
Ranger.
whites are gross. When they go purple pants and white jerseys, I think it looks terrible. But when they go all purple with the gold helmet, it's not a terrible look. So not
You
that I'm a
love-
huge fan of purple, but
You love gold accents, though. You love a
I
gold
love
secondary.
gold.
Good
But
reference.
yeah,
Okay.
no, I mean, it didn't go great, but I think Oregon winning the Pac-12 championship still isn't off the table. So I think I can come back. Pebble cereals are still terrible. Great take by me. San Francisco still winning the NFC West. Very strong chance after this weekend. Seahawks losing, Niners winning. And then Trey Turner not being a Dodger next year is still looking cool as well. So, I think I've got time to climb back, even though Brad's on the board with some points right now at 175. I'm at -15. Kraut hasn't made a hot take all year. But
Yeah.
I think I'm not gonna panic. I'm not gonna panic and go out on a limb here and try to throw out a hot take. I think that we're fine with what we're sitting at on the board. And I think again, like when we get to this potential snake situation later in the show, I think I might be in a better spot after, that situation.
Yeah, let's
So,
we should probably
see what
just get
happens.
right into the snake then. Because
All
it's
right,
4
let's-
points.
Let's get after it.
Let's do it.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
To everybody's favorite segment.
Mm-hmm.
The snake.
The snake.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
You like it?
I think so.
Brad's taking the wheels here on the snake this week. It's a passion project of his, something
Passionate one.
that's big right now, and something that me and Kraut have a ton of domain knowledge on. So,
Ton.
Brad, take it away.
Exactly. Yep. Hello, everybody. We are going to do a FIFA bracket for this year's snake. So we're going to do our regular snake draft, right? We're going to go around. It's going to just be us three, and we're each going to pick 4 teams from this upcoming 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. But there's some contingencies.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's justice.
Anyway. Yes. So first of all, I have the most knowledge about football in this group, and it's not even remotely close. So basically, Tread
Wow.
and Kraut are gonna get everything that they need to have success in this. They're gonna get the bracket, the world power rankings. They can look up who is Cristiano Ronaldo if they need to. Whatever they need to do, they can figure it out. I, on the other hand, get only the bracket, so I don't
I
get
lo-
any
I
information.
love that
from-
Brad sees himself as like a international soccer savant, where he's like, see, if I have these world rankings and all of the analytics on soccer, I'm going to pick a perfect bracket. So I'm not going to allow myself to have that because I'm so smart, because I play FIFA 3 times every
Mhm.
month. Yeah.
It's
All right.
also
Yeah.
it's also like you think just because I have like the bracket and rankings, like I'm still gonna pick every team based on their flag and how cool it is. So
Yeah,
I
Just
mean-
because you have a soccer player's haircut does not make you some
Yeah.
sort of soccer genius.
yeah. Hey, Tread. Do you know who Kylian Mbappe is? What country is he from?
That's the guy who plays in Europe and he scores all the goals.
Okay,
Am I
moving
wrong?
on.
Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
What country is he from?
France.
Brazil.
Oh, he was right. Okay,
Oh.
Virgil van Dijk. What position does he play? Okay, moving
That
on.
sounds Dutch.
Very good. What position does he play?
He's a midfielder.
Sure. Okay. All right. Here we go. So just like in regular soccer or football, this is going to be we're going to get points for how each of our 4 teams do. So there's 12 teams that we're picking. There's 32 teams in the bracket total. So there's 20 teams that we don't pick. If one of the 20 teams that we don't pick wins the whole thing, we all have to roll the dice of death.
Okay. I think that
Okay.
that's fair. I think
It's
that's fair.
very unlikely, unless you guys like pick, I don't know, pick really
Qatar?
bad. If you pick Qatar
If you
first
will.
overall, yeah, you will not do well. And also, okay, so the points are also kept like regular soccer: 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, no points for a loss. The team that has the most total points, aka one out of all of our 4 teams, whichever has the most total points, they get 50 points towards heat check, which are the points mean nothing and the stake is a stake.
The stakes are a stake.
The stakes are a stake. The person with the team who has the most goals, so let's say I pick Brazil and they have the most goals as a team, I get 25 heat check points. Okay. The person with the team who wins the whole World Cup also gets 25 points.
Huge.
Okay.
Huge if true.
Huge if true. So with that being said, we are going to get this thing started by picking the order via dice.
Yeah. What do we got? Via the roll of the dice?
Roll a dice.
Same number sequences for baseball development dice as well.
Exactly. Do you
love
have a
it.
dice?
Oh, dude. Totally. I don't.
Give me a second.
Brad will be back, everybody. We'll cut this. It's
Uh,
okay.
No, let's talk about stuff. Let's flex our
Hey, Kraut. You and
improv
me
skills.
both
Yeah.
have beautiful blue eyes, and he doesn't. Recessive gene guys, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we have great facial hair, and he doesn't either.
But he also has knowledge about soccer.
That's not relevant. It's a complete
Whoa!
random.
Whoa! There he
All
is.
right. Is that the baseball development dice, or is that the we roll for draft picks for the snake dice? Does it have a bicycle on it?
It has a bike on it.
Bicycle. Sponsor the pod.
Then that is the dice that we're looking for.
Yeah, that's the correct
Die,
one.
the die that we were looking for.
Exactly. Okay. So we're gonna get this thing started. I'm gonna roll for myself.
Go.
All right.
You'll just roll for
Here-
everybody.
Here we go. I roll for myself first, and I got a 4.
Kraut,
That's me.
first pick, or does he get to pick which one he wants?
He gets to pick which one he wants.
What do you want in the snake, bro?
I wasn't prepared for this, brothers. I'll go.
Wow.
I want. Isn't last kind of the most?
Just make a decision, guy.
I want first.
All right,
Meh.
good.
That was
Alright.
awful decision. God,
Yeah, that's all right.
already
All
messing
right.
up.
1 or a 2. 1 or a 2. 1 or a 2. It's a 3, so we're rolling again.
Well, we
No,
could
I
just
gotta
go,
go again.
high and low, but that's fine.
Okay, high or low, Tread?
No, I mean you're low, I'm high. Going forward, now that we've decided it, roll again,
Okay,
nerd.
I want 1 through
Woo!
3, and it's a 6.
Yeah, that's your boy. I'm going last.
Okay, I'm in the middle. So, Kraut, with all the research that you have been doing, analyzing, looking at strength of schedule,
Mbappé.
who has the strongest midfield, who are you
Of
taking?
Yep.
course.
Yeah. So I was up late last night doing a lot of good research.
Crunching the numbers.
And the team I'm going to go with is Brazil. Pretty much
Shocker.
because I really like the flag. There's a lot of good colors in it. They have blue, yellow, and green.
And green.
And green. And you know what? They just play darn good football. So we're going Brazil to start everything off.
You
And
want
I
a fun
probably
fact,
won't
Kraut?
pick what?
There has never been a World Cup without Brazil.
Wow.
They are the
I
only-
knew that. Yeah,
they are
that's
the
not a
only
fact to me.
country in the world
I already
to
knew
make
that.
every World Cup. So
Yep, knew it.
they're
Brad's
pretty,
on the
they're pretty
board?
dope. All right. Mine, I'm gonna go Argentina next
Damn.
because Messi is going to win his final World Cup.
But he's
And
old.
also FIFA
Oh man, look at my life.
did a simulation, which they do every World Cup, and they've guessed the last 3 correctly. And in the simulation, Argentina won the whole thing. So I'm gonna go Argentina.
Question.
Yeah.
Is that simulation just 2 guys playing FIFA on the Xbox? And
No, it's just the computer playing
Oh,
itself.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you worried about Mexico at all, Brad? Kind of sneaking in there, maybe knocking them off?
No.
Okay.
So you guys know top 2 teams make it out, right? Make it out alive.
Yeah, naturally, we know how the World Cup works, Brad.
Oh yeah, I knew
Come on.
that.
Okay.
All
So
right,
top
I'm
2
ta-
teams make it, so they don't have to be the best team to make it out.
all right,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
taking Belgium because I love a good Belgian waffle. And also that's really all I got. Their flag looks like Germany's, but like backward or sideways. So I mean, zig while others zags, you know what I'm saying? And make your flag your flag. No, I'm saying everybody says that.
Bars.
Then France, same flag design, and they have Mbappe, which we've discussed
We've covered.
earlier, and
We've
he's
covered.
the best player ever of all time, forever. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with France as my next pick, circling back around. Brad, back on the board.
It's back to me, huh? I am going to pick the Netherlands
Oh.
because their bracket is very easy.
Yeah.
They play Qatar, Ecuador, and Senegal.
It's a crazy bracket, actually.
That's
Question for you, Brad. Is Qatar automatically getting a bid into this because they're hosting?
Yes,
that's correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
that's how it works.
Okay. So where I will go with next.
In that case, he's going with Qatar.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to play in front of their home fans. They're just going to no.
Home
no,
field
not at all.
advantage.
We're going England.
Yikes.
I really.
I
What?
like it.
No,
I
keep
like
going.
it.
Why is
Good
that
take.
yikes? Why
No,
is that
don't worry about
yikes?
it. Make your pick. Don't listen to
Do
he
your
doesn't
thing.
know.
And then I am terrified of the group E with Spain and Germany in there, but because you told me that both will make it out, I'm less terrified.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and go with. Actually, you know what? I'm changing my mind.
Nice.
Last second change. I'm gonna go
Okay.
ahead and reach over to Portugal because I think that bracket is pretty weak, actually. So that's where I'm going.
Sure.
Brad liked that. Brad liked that. I
Sure.
think.
It's good. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Uruguay's actually, they're pretty solid,
They're okay,
actually.
right?
So, yeah.
All right.
But you should have taken Spain, and that's who I'm going to take next.
Oh,
Mm,
okay.
Sorry.
ooh,
Don't
nice.
care.
Don't care.
Nice. That's
Still
good.
don't care.
Who do we have on the board? There's a lot of
national-
really good.
What nationality are you, Tread? That's what you should. That's probably your next best thing.
The closest to my max is Irish, I'd say. About
Oh, never mind.
30%. They're not.
Nope.
Ireland is not in the World Cup. I'm looking at the groups here, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with Germany. Snake that one out from Kraut so he doesn't get his home country.
Yeah, that's kind of
And
dumb.
part of me wants to go with Uruguay, but we all know that I believe in the red, white, and blue. USA,
no.
USA,
USA.
USA, USA. So I'm gonna go with the Americans. We're
Wow.
going USA.
They actually look really good.
And you told me they're really young and energetic,
cap.
which is
They're young.
what they need to be. I
look
haven't
good.
heard a lot of positive things from what I've heard on sports radio, but let's give it a go. A little dice roll, if you will.
They have a lot of players who are not from the MLS for the first time, which is big. A lot of guys from Italy and England and Germany, so they're going to be good.
Yep. So I'm with the Americans. Go ahead, Brad.
My last pick. Ooh, I have some options here. So I'll just, I don't know if I want to give Kraut any clues.
No, speak it out, bro. Speak your mind.
Okay,
No,
so
let's talk this out. This is a tough pick, so let's talk this
okay.
out.
So the top ones that I'm thinking of are Uruguay.
Uruguay?
Because I think Portugal's good, but not dominant, and Uruguay's pretty good. Denmark is also sleeper, pretty good team.
I'm still sleeping.
They
I'm
they
fast
do have to
asleep.
they do have to play France, which is tough.
To get out of each group, Brad.
Yep, and also Canada is just so fun. Alphonso Davies is one of my favorite players in the world, which you guys will get to watch him play. He is the fastest man alive.
Yeah, we know him.
Yeah, of course.
You can forget. Yeah,
So-
ranked number 41 in the world, Canada. Let's go with them. Good call, Brad.
Well, okay. You want me to take Canada?
Do it, dude.
Do it.
You won't, coward.
Do it, bro.
You won't do it. I don't think you'll
All right,
do it.
Sure. All right, I'll take Canada.
Heck yeah. I got him. We got him, Kraut.
Got me.
So I'm finishing up with my last pick.
That's correct.
And it would kind of be interesting for me to pick two teams in the same group.
You can't because
ill-advised.
we're going 4 teams.
No, you
Oh.
can. It's just
No.
ill-advised.
I see. Why? They'll both
'Cause-
come
Yeah,
out.
why is that ill-advised? Then I always win.
Because there's a chance that a powerhouse doesn't make it out of the bracket.
But think about this, Brad. If my teams play each other and they tie, that's a 2-pointer.
That is,
Ooh,
but let's say your teams
dude.
tie, and then one of the teams that's not yours, or one of the teams that is yours, wins out, and the other team doesn't. You lose one team.
I think he's looking at Uruguay here.
I think he is as
I'm
well.
looking at Uruguay and Denmark.
Have you
We're just
ever
gonna
heard
go
of Sonaldo? Because he plays for South Korea, and he's really
No,
good.
don't do it.
Oh, yeah, right. Denmark, put it on the board. Yes.
All right. Denmark is on the board. So
South Korea could steal
wanted
that
me to
bracket.
pick-
That was good.
You wanted me
you
to
know what's
you
going to
wanted
be
me-
tough is if
Really?
Uruguay comes in and just
Do you want to put a bet on that? Or some
Uruguay
blue check
comes in
points
and
on that?
sneaks the World Cup is going to be a tough scene for us.
If Uruguay could come out and just win the whole thing.
They probably won't, but it's not out of the question.
Are they ranked 9th,
They're ranked
8th? What are they
14th.
ranked?
They're
Okay.
ranked 14th.
Okay.
Mexico also in the top 15.
I was
not
telling
picked.
Crowd, I was trying to tell you, South Korea has one of the best forwards in the world, and they could, if he takes over,
This
Uruguay
isn't
might not
basketball,
make it out.
dude. I don't know anything about soccer, but I know that one player is not going to win you the World Cup. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
I
at.
would say that's a pretty safe assessment by one.
If LeBron
Ryan
James
Kraut.
played for South Korea, then maybe.
I think Croatia is going to knock Canada out in the first round, but that's okay.
All right. Well, that was our snake draft. Reminder, you can follow our draft results as well as how we're doing in the World Cup via our social media. So go ahead and follow Big Tread and Brad Buffet on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and newly added TikTok. So, yeah, there you go.
Folks,
Welcome back.
have you ever been in Forest Grove thinking, I want to sit down at a nice restaurant with some nice people and listen to some nice music. Well, look no further than Black Dog Bar and Grill.
New sponsor of the podcast.
New sponsor of Big Trent and Brad's Buffet. So all you fatties out there looking for some food in Forest Grove, let's go to Black Dog Bar and Grill. It's a great place with a great environment. They also cater.
Yep.
Tread, you had a friend.
Yeah. Shout out Tyler Kochik. His wedding.
Oh,
was
Koch.
catered. Yeah, you guys.
You've actually heard him on this pod before. He was the transition guy.
Dude, he was? Anyways, Tyler Kochik's wedding was awesome, and it was absolutely, like, enhanced by what we had food-wise by Black Dog. And Phil does a great job. The whole staff is awesome. Really good vibes at the restaurant. Really good mac and cheese, really good smoked meats. They do cornbread on weekends, I'm pretty sure, as well. I've had their cornbread as like a dessert after.
Mm-hmm.
It is fantastic with butter and honey, I'll tell you what. So I couldn't recommend it any higher. I think it's a great spot for you to go with your family, a great spot to go with your friends.
And great people own it.
So, yeah, we're thankful for the support we're getting from Black Dog. And, yeah, go find it right next to Rainbow Lanes here in Forest Grove. It's kind of by the Les Schwab down there.
In between Domino's.
In between Domino's.
That little curve right next to Safeway.
Yeah, right behind Safeway. So, Black Dog Bar and Grill, thank you for your sponsorship. And go check it out today. So, welcome back to everyone's favorite segment, Baseball Development Dice. We actually have a special guest with us today. Brian Valentine, Lower Columbia College. Welcome.
B-Val.
B-Val. All right. So, everybody, of course, knows how this works. We have 6 different topics that we are going.
But B-Val
But B-Val knows how this works because he has never listened to the podcast, actually. We have 6 different topics that will be rolled at random, and then we will discuss them. Number 1 and 2 are Brad's topics because he is the smallest. Number 3 and 4 are Kraut's topics because he's the mediumist. Number 5 and 6 are clearly mine because I'm fat.
Is mediumist a word?
We invented it.
We made
B-Val, please don't stop me when I'm on a roll.
Los Santos.
Dice topic number 1 is machine work BP. Dice
Yes.
topic number 2, summer ball versus lifting. Dice topic number 3, power versus strength. Dice topic number 4, playing at age level versus playing older players. Dice topic number 5 is leadership/culture styles. And then dice topic number 6 is perceived velocity. So,
Is there
Brad-
anyone that you wish, like, is there one that's calling your name, do you think?
no, it's
You know?
irrelevant what he thinks. Brad,
I'm just trying to get a feel of what he...
I'm the guest.
Yeah, it is relevant what he
I'm
thinks.
that guy.
Yeah.
What do you want, B-Val?
I want what the dice tells us.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking
That's an
about.
answer.
That's
All
a
right.
That's a true podcast
Let's
listener.
go.
Are we ready to roll?
What's
Yes.
up? B-Val
Brad,
do the honors?
Brad, do you have the right?
No,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
blow
give it to
on.
B-Val. No,
I'll
no,
blow
no,
on.
no.
I'll blow
No,
on.
no.
Oh, yeah.
Even better. Even better.
Okay.
Yes,
We
it
don't
says
know why.
bike. It says bike. Is
Okay.
that the one?
Oh, is that the one?
Okay, blow on
That's
it.
baseball development dice.
Nice.
Good.
It's gonna be
The
it.
dice is hot. Dice is hot.
What? I saw it?
It's going off the table.
Oh!
Tragic Cole?
We have a 4.
We have a
We
4.
got 4 off the table.
Okay, I like
Wow,
4.
that
I like
bike
4.
hit a corner.
Four
All
is
right.
good.
All right.
We're out.
So, this might have been a thing when, like, I think it was a thing when I was growing up and Brad was kind of going through, and maybe when you guys were going through as well. But especially for the younger kids out there, you know, if you might be a little bit above the kids your age in terms of skill level, is it advantageous to play up with an older team? So, for example, a 12-year-old kid playing on a 14U team, does that benefit his development more than just being the guy at his age level on his team, playing with his friends? Sorry, I'm kind of getting a little biased already.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, that's kind of
question framing is obvious.
yeah. So that's kind of where we'll start is maybe I'll just throw it to B-Val.
Oh.
Yeah. So what do you
Okay.
got on that?
I'm going to give you the classic. It's circumstantial.
Okay.
I'm going to open up
Context
with
is
that.
everything. Yeah.
But I think it's a fine line of, hey, yeah, you can go play with the 14-year-olds, but are you going to play a third of the innings? Or are you going to play 50%? Or are you going to, what's the actual experience and playing time look like? And I'm not saying like you have to play every day to gather the development you need, but on the flip side of that, is playing 40% or 50% of the innings up against 14-year-olds better than dominating as a 12-year-old. I think when you elevate, kind of the iron sharpens iron theory, I tend to believe in a little bit, but I think kind of, they have to have a certain floor to be able to do that, if that makes sense,
Sure.
talent-wise. And I don't think if they have that floor, now obviously that's subjective, but hopefully the people that are in those decisions are making the right decisions with that, and their evaluations are correct. But I think if the talent doesn't meet the floor of that level, then I don't know if it's as beneficial.
You might risk some things.
Yeah, and this might not be the most popular, reason to hold a kid back of but how much does he love baseball?
Yeah.
Right? Is he willing to go through the less success at the higher level, and will that kind of flood his love for the game going forward, or is that going to discourage him to continue to play?
Yeah.
So I think back to my original kind of start on that question is context matters.
Yeah, we've got a guy as an example on Northwest Diamond Sports who's this next summer is trying to figure out if he's 15 years old. He's a very talented defensive catcher, but offensively is still trying to figure things out a little bit. He's still not physically as developed as some of the other kids.
Yep.
And he's trying to figure out, is it more advantageous for him to play up at 18U this year, or is it better for him to be kind of one of the better players, or at kind of his offensive level and what he's able to handle, currently at the 16U level. And so we talked to him about it. And I think it's to me, it's how can you mentally battle through the failure, right? Because there is a ton of value, especially at that age, of seeing.
And I think, not to cut you off, but I think that 15U to 18U is probably the one that could be more beneficial for the player.
Sure, yeah.
Is that or 16U to 18U, or 15? You know what I mean?
Sure,
The
yeah.
18U jump.
That kind of jump, I think, is more beneficial for the kid if that talent floor is there. But also, to your point, can they handle the failure that they're going to face?
And that's, I think, reshaping. It really takes a reshaping of what success is versus what is.
Totally.
Because so many of those kids are going to see, and because everything's tracked on Game Changer, and they're going to know their batting average, and they're going to know, what their stats are. Obviously, if you're facing a level that you physically are able to compete at, offensively, especially off of pitching, your stats aren't going to be very good from a traditional standpoint. But if you're building a visual palette and seeing plus stuff all of a sudden, you're learning how to make better swing decisions. You're starting to kind of develop that awareness and speed for that part of the game as you get more physical. So now when you do start creating those skills and you have more bat speed, you get stronger, you're more athletic because you're growing into your body, you're maturing. Those can pay dividends on the back end, but is that worth the risk of you being your head against the wall for a summer, hitting under 200 and just being so frustrated because all your buddies at the 16U level are having fun and you have those relationships that you built with them over the years? Are you enjoying the social aspect of playing up on that team? Which, I just think there's so many different things that you have to take into account, that it's not always the player's physical development on the field that is going to mean the most, because we all know the mental side of the game is extremely important, and so is just dealing with kind of the emotional well-being of the athlete, right? So I think it can either harden them and change them in a way that is really beneficial, but you're also running the risk of kind of ruining them for years to come. And I think it's the same argument you can have of playing a freshman in a prominent role at the college level, right? I think it's the same kind of conversation. It's if we give the guys, say he's the 3 starter, do we give him the keys to the castle and he's all of a sudden he's in a big role, we're risking it, and if that dude gets shelled in his first 2 outings, that might ruin him for a year. It could ruin him for his whole career, because mentally he had so much pressure on himself to perform on a team where he hasn't made relationships with the players, and he's trying to perform. And when he faces failure, not everybody has kind of the mental wherewithal to be able to handle that. So I don't know. I kind of got long-winded there, but I do think like there's a lot more to factor in other than the physical side of the game.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off that, I think the 15 and 16-year-old, I think, are a little more apt to stick with the game, and so to speak, than the 12-year-old, the 13-year-old.
Yeah, 100%.
The
Once
guy
you
that's
transition
already,
to high school,
they're
right?
already, yeah, the guy that's already 1 or 2 years into high school baseball, and if they, they're usually making that decision if they to play up, if they want to play college baseball and pursue that, or pursue varsity baseball and stuff like that. So, for sure, that's just to kind of piggyback off of that. I think that's a important factor as well.
I think that's like arguably the most common moment for a baseball player to have the sort of shock of talent, like seeing the first standard of, oh, this is what a high school varsity baseball player looks like. Does that player need to get the shock when they're younger in travel ball, or does it normally happen like when they're, like you said, like when they're 15, 16 and they're about to, or 14 and they're in high school baseball and they're a freshman and they show up and they're like, oh man, this is what it's like. Do you think that it's important for them to get that shock prior to high school baseball? Like, or do you think that the shock comes in high school baseball no matter what?
More organically, yeah.
I would agree. I would think so too. It's probably in high school more.
In a
more
perfect
likely.
world, I think maybe we could all agree, maybe not, is like we would all love it if every 12U team could just play the best 12U team. But in terms of money and traveling to go find those teams, like that's the most organic way for a kid to be like, this kid's my same age. There's no excuse as why he's better than me or I can't compete against him. I think that's where you're going to develop the most. Unfortunately, like that's just not always an
But
option.
is the best 12-year-old shortstop playing 12-year-old baseball? Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, and
So that's the hard part.
you've probably seen this in the recruiting landscape of there are so many more 18U teams nowadays,
So many.
and some of that is just 16-year-olds playing 18U
Yeah.
baseball.
100%.
There's no
you
structure
you
to
got to
it.
fill those teams with people, right?
Right.
So,
So
there's a business aspect to that
for sure,
club
and
ball.
I think that's barking down, up a whole different
I do
tree.
think too, like it can be a little bit of a cop out for you as well if you're like 16 and you're competing against 18, 19-year-olds and you're not seeing success. You'd be like, well, I'm not really supposed to be successful right now, so maybe I'm not as attention to detail oriented, or like if I fail, maybe it isn't as big of a deal, which is just kind of like the wrong way to look at it from like a different side of the like spectrum, right? Where it's like almost like you're separating yourself away from the consequences of failure, and it's no longer sharpening you to be the best version of yourself, and it's just kind of like your mental cop out of this is why I'm failing, so I don't really need to care that much about it, right?
I think I have a story for that. I think when I was 16, I'm pretty sure I was 16, and we had two levels of teams in the travel ball group that we played in, and we played the 16U team that I was on. They were technically in the 18U bracket in California travel ball, so we would go play 18-year-olds every weekend, and that a lot of the 18U teams in California are a lot like what you guys were saying. There's 16-year-olds filling a lot of those spots.
Sure.
But then the younger group of guys who were like a grade or the same grade as me or a grade below me, they didn't move up. So they stayed in 16U the whole entire year, and they played a younger age group the whole year. So there was no 18-year-olds mixed in basically to where they were playing. We had a lot of failure. They had a ton of success. And by the end of the travel ball year, they were having so much success in their age group that the talent they were playing by the end of it was far more talented in the 16U bracket than the 18U scrambled bracket that we were playing in as the older, like technically higher skill level team. We were not as good. And we played each other, and I would bounce back and forth between both teams a lot, and we would play each other quite often, and the older team never won. We could never beat them, and we were supposed to be the guys who were seeing higher velocity, high school, like the high school, college prep guys. These guys were supposed to be getting ready for their sophomore year in high school, and they were destroying us, seeing far better pitching than we. They probably saw 90 before I did, and they were younger. So I think the talent pool, they were so chosen on the path of being in that age group and being really, really good in that age group. Like, why would we mess around with going older when we can just dominate the 16U age? That they ended up, it started to filter down, and they were playing elite baseball. before they got into their next year of high school baseball.
Do you know how those teams were chosen by chance by the academy?
A lot of it was
director, or-
grade. So I mean, I was a little bit at that time. I was young for my grade, so I was a grade above them. So I was going into my junior year,
kind of like in
and
between.
they were similar age, but going into their sophomore year. The older guys were going into their sophomore year, and they were that was how the teams were kind of split up. Like, hey, you're going to be a junior, so you're probably going to go play the 18U team, but this kid who's a sophomore who's plays for a better high school and is probably a better baseball player is going to stay 16. And that's where the head guy of the organization would coach all the time. That's where all the money went into, was the younger team. And I think it had to do a lot with just how that group was put together. They were very talented. Like, he kind of ran into a perfect storm with who he put on that team. But I think a lot of it had to do with the tournaments got so watered down where we were, whereas where they were so like selected in what they wanted to do, which was go play in like this big tournament in Southern California, that they just saw better talent. And I think that is
They were better off for it.
They benefited from it for sure. I definitely think so.
I think too there are like recruiting implications with it as well, right?
Definitely.
Like, think about just you. I mean, you have a great experience too, and as you as well. You guys are at the same event with Baseball Northwest this summer. Like, you were coaching 14 and 15-year-olds this summer at Baseball Northwest in Oregon and Oregon State, and those schools came to your games, where BVal was coaching 18U, and it was all junior colleges and small colleges, and the occasional sprinkled in like mid-major Division I. But with everything working earlier and earlier, like, you know, if you want to get seen by some of those higher level Division I's, like, they're going to be at the younger guy tournaments right now. It's just working quicker.
Yeah, I don't think I
Right?
comprehended that at all when I was that age either. Like, it wouldn't make sense to me if I was a 16-year-old in high school.
Well, it's more laid bare now, right? Like,
Yeah,
everybody
exactly.
kind of knows that
Yeah.
now, and I think like there's a lot of misconceptions back in the day. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think like they're just like there's something to be said of you sticking out as being the best 16-year-old at a 16U tournament in front of, you know, some of the top talent in terms of recruiters
Yep.
out there, right? Because those are the talent pools, like those are the classes they're filling right now. And so like in their mind, I get to go see as many 15 and 16-year-old players, some of the best ones in the country, here at this tournament versus like, would it maybe be better for some of those kids to be playing up at the 18U level at a similar caliber of tournament? Potentially, yeah, as from a player development perspective. But is that what's best for them from a recruiting standpoint? Is that what's best for them from a mental and emotional standpoint? Which I think should also be factored in more into baseball or just player development systems just in general, which is a whole other conversation. But yeah, I keep hearkening back to it. Like, there's so much context involved, and there's so many like different things that each individual presents from like a maturation standpoint, physically and mentally and emotionally, that lead into that decision. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my point. So
Got anything else, Bevo?
No.
thanks, Bevo.